Welcome everybody, welcome back to Homestead Heart. And today we decided you all that we were going to go ahead and take you all inside of our chicken house, and we're going to show you exactly what we do and how we collect enough compost for an entire year for our garden. And it is the easiest method that we have found to compost all of the scraps, right? The easiest method to compost the chickens' poop, wood chips and hay and straw, all of that, right?
Yeah.
Food scraps, I think I said that, but it's the easiest method to compost all of these things, and we hardly lift a finger. Our chickens do all of the work. So we're gonna take y'all inside and we're gonna show you what it looks like. Okay, you all, so now we are inside of our very large chicken house. Our chicken house is huge. It's big enough to house about 40 or so chickens. Now, while we don't have 40 birds in here, we wanted to make sure we had the space. If we needed to have 40 chickens, we could do so in this one chicken house right here. So I'm going to just kind of show you all real quick. If Mr. H could just kind of show you like around the chicken house, you could see just how tall these walls are, like 10 feet of space all the way around. And you can see we have a perch here for the chicks, right? And then we have a perch up here for the chicks. And then we have perches here for the chicks, okay? So they have plenty of room that they can perch from, right? Now, we have another side that Mr. H is going to talk about here in a minute, but that's the side that we call our nursery. And he's going to talk about that side here in just a moment. But we are going to talk about how we use this chicken coop as our composting center, okay? And what we do is we start off on the ground of, I'm going to call it the ground floor, okay? Because on the floor of this, no Jax, on the floor of this, you can see we have wood chips down here, okay? We have a layer of wood chips. It's just a couple of inches. It's not very deep. Just about 2 inches, 1 to 2 inches of wood chips on the floor of this, all right? Now, what we do is we come in, we throw our scraps into the chickens in here, or sometimes in the yard, but we'll put scraps in here for them. They'll come in, they'll scratch around, they'll eat, they poop, and all of that. And at some point, this area right here with all of the wood chips is going to become full of chicken manure. And all we do is come back with a layer of maybe pine shavings. Did Agatha just fly out of this? She did. Our turkey Agatha just, she is something else. But anyway, you all, we'll come back with a layer of pine shavings or straw or old hay. Whatever we have, we'll come back with a layer and we'll cover this. And the process continues with feeding them in here, them pooping everywhere in here, and we'll just keep on layering and layering and layering. And what happens is after the bedding becomes so deep, takes about a good year, after the bedding becomes so deep, then we come in just before spring and we take it all out. We dig down about a foot inside, and you can't see it here, but typically the chicken poop will come all the way up to my boot, okay? And once it gets all the way up here, we'll come back, we'll shovel all of it out, and we'll take it all outside. And we do that for both sides of our chicken house. So this is how we use our chickens as our composters, right? They work here on the farm. They have a job to do. They don't just lay eggs. They are our composters, okay, you all? And they do a phenomenal job. And we're going to take you outside in just a moment, and we're going to show you all of the goodness that they have given us. But before we do that, we're going to walk on the inside of the second half of our chicken house, and we're going to show you what that's like and what we use it for.
Okay. Welcome to the nursery. This is a nursery for the baby chicks and also for the turkeys that are injured or any birds that get injured.
Agatha came back.
Yeah, and this is actually her home.
This is her spot.
Yeah, so that's the reason why she came in here, because I'm
You
in
in her
space. I'm in her space.
Yep.
And also, come on in.
Okay.
Come on in the nursery. When all the little baby chicks hatch, so we can keep them away from all the bigger chickens. This is their place.
Yeah.
And also, we have a quail hutch for our small quail.
Yes.
They don't contribute to none of the compost. But we have turkeys, we have chickens in here. And as you can see, we dug down deep in this part as well. And
Yeah.
about a year's worth of chicken manure, branches, all different type of hay, straw, and wood chips.
Right.
In this area, composting is something that we can get from this chicken house that we don't have to put in physical labor.
That's true.
We can just let the chickens do all the work. They work here, so they eat. They got to pay their bills. How they pay their bills? By giving us the poop.
Right.
And from the poop, we will get good vegetables in our garden. We want some microbes. We want all of that stuff. Nutrients, minerals. We want everything we can get that the plants need to bear fruit.
That's true.
So this area here we dug out.
Except for that behind you.
Yeah.
We didn't dig out where the hutch was because I think they forgot.
Yeah, but we still got some work to do
we
right
gotta
here.
get this out. Yep.
Yeah, we still got some work right here because chickens and turkeys be everywhere in here. And we went pretty deep. We went pretty deep. As you see, we still got stuff right here. And all this stuff is valuable. And think about the cost that we're saving. We're saving a lot of money.
Yeah.
We're saving a lot of money. And this area is pretty big as well. It's the same length, but it's not the same width.
Yeah.
But this is where we get our compost. This is where we get our true good organic matter that we're gonna put down in the garden. So hopefully you can do the same. If you have chickens, you can put them in a small area and you can get compost just like we're getting compost.
That's true.
And it can save you a lot of money. We don't have to spend that much money on compost while we got chickens giving it to us for free.
That's true.
So that's what we have in the nursery in this side. Whenever we come in, we want free compost, we just dig it up. Simple as that.
Okay, so that's the inside. We kind of showed you how we collect or how the compost is kind of built up inside of the chicken house. But now we're going to show you what that compost looks like, and we're going to show you just how much of it we actually got for the garden for 2024.
Yeah. We also have more workers over there, but all the animals have to pay their bills.
That's true.
They got to pay their way.
That's true.
So if they eat, then they're gonna give us something that we can use, and it's gonna be free, and it's gonna benefit the crops, and we don't have to go to Home Depot nowhere. We can do it right here.
That's true.
Y'all can do the same thing.
That's true.
There's methods on growing your own groceries that won't hit the pocket as hard.
That's true. Hey, Bill. How are you? Agatha. Bill, how are you? Can we come past you? Thank you.
Bill, have you been behaving yourself?
No, you need a bath.
Oh, I know she needs a bath.
Okay, so you all look at all of this stuff. We are literally standing by a pile of chicken stuff, okay? And all of this is so wonderful. This is so wonderful, right? Like, how is she standing by a pile of chicken crap and she's calling that wonderful? It's wonderful. because this is what we use to grow our groceries. You all, now, of course, I would not be completely open if I didn't tell you that sometimes if this is not enough, we don't have a problem with buying that black cow manure, right, Mr. H?
That's right. That's right.
We don't have a problem with buying, and that's pretty much what we'll do. We'll buy the black cow composted manure if we need to, and we still buy some every year because we just never know what we may need it for, right? And I know we're probably going to need some because of what we're about to do with what I'm going to show you here today. So everything we just took out of the chicken house, you just saw us talk about the deep litter method in our chicken house and how we build that litter up inside of the chicken house to about a foot deep, right? We start off with the layer of wood chips. They poop all over that, right? We come back and we add some straw. They poop all over that. We may add some hay. They poop all over that. We'll probably add some pine shavings. They'll poop all over that. And they keep mashing it down. So they compact it, right? And over about a year, maybe between 12 and to 14 months, we let them do that. And then it's just before spring. We are just about to enter into the month of March, and we pull it all out, okay? And let me show you what this looks like. So as you can see, down here, all of this is what we took out of our chicken house, okay? All of this is what we took out. I even see some goat pellets up here. So that means the goats must have came up top. But I even have pine shaving, straw, wood chips, you name it. It's all in here, okay? Even chicken feathers, like we got plenty of feathers in here, all through this compost. And as you can see all the way down, this is all composted manure. Move, Jax. This is all composted chicken manure, you all. So, the beautiful part about all of this is that we didn't do any work. All we did was what we would have to do for them anyway, which is give them bedding, right? You have to give them bedding anyway. So what we do is that we decided that we would use them to do all of the hard composting work for us. Now, and they don't mind. Ask them, they'll tell you. They don't mind about doing that work, right? All we got to do is give them something to eat. And they don't mind, right? So all this compost that you see here is going to go in our new garden area, you all. And in our new garden area, we're going to take you, actually we're going to do a video, and we're going to show you that new garden area that we're working on and how we prepare a brand new garden area to grow in almost right away, okay? So as you can see, we got mounds of compost here. We got mounds and mounds of compost here that we'll be utilizing in our gardens, y'all. So this is how we compost. Now, we did have other composting methods where we had composting bins, and to deal with that on a regular basis, making sure we turn it and giving it the right ratios of carbon and nitrogen and all of that, you know, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with doing that. We love doing that too. But we just found that this method right here, when you do a composting bin, there is a tremendous difference in the amount that you may get from a composting bin versus what we get from using our chickens to do all of the work. So we just found that this method is a lot easier for us, and we still may come back and do a small composting center maybe on the other side of the garden, but for now I don't know that we need to actually. But just to kind of have, because we remember we have a new chicken house that we'll be using and doing the same thing. We just started this chicken house right here, right? The green and yellow chicken house. We just started that one, okay? So we're doing the same thing there. And as you can see, it's much smaller than our larger chicken house, right? Much smaller. So we'll be able to do the same thing with that chicken house as well. We'll allow them to give us compost that's going to be about 12 inches, Mr. H?
About 12 inches, yeah.
Yeah, about 12
That's what we look
inches
for,
or so.
about 12 inches.
Yeah, about 12 inches or so deep.
Yeah.
So we're going to be doing the same thing here. And that will also kind of help us with our smaller garden. So if we did do a composting bin, perhaps it'll just be a little small one, but y'all, we're getting a ton of compost, and you can't buy this right here in the store. Not the quality that we have here, because we know what we're feeding them. We know what we're giving them, right? So the compost that we get from them, we know that this is absolutely wonderful, wonderful compost. Now, the one thing I'm going to talk to you about as well is, and just in case somebody's going to ask, well, Mrs. H, what about the raw manure that may be inside of this compost? So if you saw the perch, our chickens primarily poop underneath that perch, okay? And we took that out right away, and that's the poop that's sitting on the end. Now in the larger area, if there's any poop droppings that would have been mixed in with this, trust me, it's not going to affect our crops. Yes, raw chicken manure will burn your crops. Okay, I want to be clear. It will burn your crops. However, once we pull this out, we're going to cover this. Once we pull this out, you all, and we finish getting our garden ready for this compost, we're going to spread this out in our new garden, and it's going to sit in that new garden for about 30 days. It has already been sitting here for about a week or so now, right, Mr. H? Maybe
about
2
a week.
weeks. Okay, so it's already been sitting out here for about a week or so, maybe 2 weeks or so. And it's going to be sitting in our garden for another month. So this is going to have between 6 to 8 weeks to compost whatever chicken manure was remaining in this deep, deep mound of chicken stuff. It's going to have an opportunity to go ahead and finish breaking down, okay? So we're not worried about that. But never, ever, ever will we ever, or should you ever, take raw chicken manure out of your chicken house or your chicken coop and put that with your plants. Your plants will not survive that, okay? So don't ever use raw manure. It does need to compost, okay, you all? So that is our chicken stuff.
It is the chicken stuff, y'all.
Yeah.
And it's free, you know.
Free 99.
Yeah. As we feed them chicken pellets, they give us chicken salad. Chicken salad is used to produce bigger crops.
That's true, you all. All right, y'all, so you can see all of that chicken salad behind us, right? Y'all, that's a lot of chicken salad.
It's a lot. and it didn't cost us much. It only cost us the feed.
Which is what we got to do anyway. You got to feed them.
Yeah. You see, you know, this way you can build up your soil.
Yep.
You know, and whatever you got, try to find a way to use it from the chickens.
Yep.
You know, and you can add, like she said earlier in the video, black cow. We normally dress the crops with black cow.
Yeah.
So that brand new crop can feed off of that, and when the roots are getting longer and bigger, it can feed off this. So,
but you have to keep in mind that we have large gardens too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I know somebody's gonna say, that's not enough right there. All that ain't enough. You all, we have 2 large gardens, raised bed gardens, and now we're starting another garden, right? So we have a lot of gardens, right?
Yeah.
But if we only had the 2 gardens, like, you know, we have a smaller garden over here, and then we have the larger garden here. If these were just the 2 gardens that we had, this would be way more than enough.
Yeah.
But we have to use this, we have to use our compost every year in our raised beds, and we also have to use it in our gardens and Oh yeah, and then we forgot the melon patch. So
Oh,
we
yeah.
have a watermelon patch.
Yes, we need some over there.
You all, so
We
show
got-
your love for the chickens
And the turkeys.
and our turkeys. Because they are the ones really who is doing all of this work. When
Yeah.
they go in and they scratch in and they're constantly like keeping air going through the poop area, you know,
yeah.
when they go through and they scratch, they're doing a wonderful, wonderful job, right?
Yeah.
We have a ton of worms in this.
Yeah.
There were so many worms when we were taking it out, right?
Yeah.
So it's full of earthworms, you all.
Yeah.
So our chicks are the real heroes and sheroes of this compost here that you see, and our turkeys as well. So they're doing a wonderful, wonderful job, and we're excited to see what we get from this one the next year. And even if you just have a small chicken coop, you all,
You still can get it and use it.
you can. If it's very small, I would say they may have to dig out some old dirt.
Yeah.
Where the chicken coop is, you may have to dig down about maybe 6 inches or so, and that will give room. If it's a small chicken coop, you know what I'm saying, like
Yeah.
a real short one,
Mhm.
you may want to dig down on the inside to give it about 6 inches so that you can start putting some bedding in, and then as they poop and you keep adding bedding, it'll start to raise up to the level where you originally started, and it'll take it some time, okay?
Yeah.
You don't put in a ton of bedding, you just put in enough so
Yeah.
that they're comfortable, right? Just 1 inches or 2 inches of bedding is plenty, especially in the spring and summer months, because you don't want it to get too hot, right? Because
Yeah.
compost gets hot.
Yeah.
And so, and it actually, the compost actually helps to keep the greenhouse, I mean, not the greenhouse, the chicken house a little bit warmer, because the compost is warm under there, right? So if you want to use this method for your small chicken coop, yeah, just dig down a little bit and add a little bit of bedding. Now, depending on how many chickens you have will determine how often you need to have bedding added.
Yeah.
Now, for our chickens, we always just kind of play it by ear. We don't ever just, oh, this week we got to add bedding. We don't do that, y'all.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, this is a stress-free method for us. We don't put too much into this, right?
Yeah.
There's no real effort on our part. We only do what we would be doing whether we was using them as composters or not.
Yeah.
So when we see that, oh, okay, it's beginning to look a little gross in
Yeah.
here, right?
So it's time to dig out.
It's time to put some more bedding down, right?
Oh yeah.
And then once they wear that bedding out, then we'll come back and be like, okay, it's time to put some more bedding in.
Yeah.
And it just depends. You know, we don't have a time frame for that. It could be a week, it could be 2 weeks, you know,
Yeah.
just depending on the schedule. We may not get to it.
Yeah.
So when we get to it, it could be 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So we'll just come back and we'll add another inch or so of bedding on top, just enough to make sure we cover that poop and there's no smell.
Mhm.
There's no odor, right? Because if you have an odor in your chicken house, you need to do something about that, okay?
Yeah.
So there's no odor. When you put the bedding down, the pine shavings down, there's no odor. And so once we put that second layer or third, however many layers, we just keep doing that. And then when it's time to harvest our compost, we dig it all out.
We dig it all out, and then we spread it around, sprinkle it
Yep.
around and around, and then we will get good crops, good fruit,
Yeah,
whatever the case may be.
that's true.
Yeah.
And this stuff is piled up so high, y'all. I'm telling you, we got so much of this out here
Yeah.
that it's a joy to look at this. So
Yeah.
we're excited about that. So we just kind of wanted to take you all along and just kind of show you our method of composting. And that's why we don't have a whole lot of composting centers around the farm.
Yeah.
We don't need them. We have them. This is Compost Center 1.
Yeah.
This Command Center 1.
Let's show the crew. Let's
That's
see.
Command Center number 2.
And look
right?
There's the
And those are our co-workers behind us.
Those are the co-workers, y'all.
Those are our co-workers, and they do a wonderful job. Yes, they do. They do a wonderful, wonderful job, you all. So we just kind of wanted to show you all how we do it here at Homestead Heart, and this works for us.
Yeah, and Mrs. H, I always wondered how they did this in the old days when they didn't have no big box stores that sold compost.
They just use chicken manure, horse manure, cow manure. Of course, those manures take a very long time to break down.
Yeah.
If you're dealing with horse manure, you can be trying to break that stuff down for over a year. In some cases, I think some have said 1.5 years, 2 years, right?
Yeah.
Cow manure doesn't take quite as long, but you're talking about a year.
Yeah.
Chicken manure, you're looking at just a few months, right?
Yeah.
And so, but when you think about the method that we do things,
Yeah.
as it keeps getting buried, that manure that's underneath is no longer raw manure after a couple of months, right? It's being composted down.
Yeah.
And the raw stuff is sitting on top.
Yeah.
But the more we add more bedding and they keep mashing that down, the longer it sits, well, that becomes composted. So a lot of this is ready to be used in our garden today.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of it is broken down already. But taking it completely out, not allowing them to poop on it anymore, giving it an additional 4 to 6 weeks, it's just going to make sure that any raw manure that still remains will be broken down as well.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
And also, you know, we think about less chemicals, you know.
No chemicals.
You know.
We have no chemicals.
We good on that.
Yeah, no chemicals.
Yeah.
And even coffee grounds, like we'll be taking the coffee grounds and we'll be adding them to the gardens as well. You know, all organic matter is going to be important when you're starting a brand new garden. So we're going to take you all along and show you the next video on how we start a brand new garden plot that has never been grown in before. And so if you want to see that, you're going to check it out right here, or maybe here, or maybe it's going to be in one of these corners.
Yeah.
Just click on whatever you see.
Yeah.
All right, y'all, that's going to do it for this video. Again, Homestead Heart, show your love for the chicken composters.
The composters, there they are. Don't be shy. Show yourself, Tom.
Look, we put them on Apollo.
Yeah.
We're going to put them on Apollo. I mean, these are some valuable livestock that we have here.
Yeah, and they in the corner over there.
Yeah. So, y'all, I think that's going to do it, Mr. H.
That's going to do it.
If you haven't done so already, go ahead and give our video a nice big thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any videos we upload to our channel. And thank y'all again for watching Homestead Heart.
Peace and blessings, y'all.
To each and every one of you. And we're going to see y'all in the next video.
Peace.